Back to my guest at this point of time. Major General Sudhakar Ji is also with me. Appreciate you joining me live, sir, and good morning. In fact, always a pleasure speaking to you. When we're talking about decoding the visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to France, he has also remembered the freedom fighters who have very bravely fought the struggle and their attempt while being in Marseille. How do you view, in fact, going there and making this emotional pitch? How much of this soft inference and the kind of deep rooted history that is also reiterated on these very important strategic diplomatic visit by the world leaders, and specifically in a relationship between India and France, when India's a sixth visit to France through Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned? What is the main message that the world is looking at, that India will also in fact very categorically put there, and for France in fact to take it back, that this is where India stands as far as on clear bilateral ties and regional cooperation ties between India and France is concerned?
Simran, good morning. Thank you for getting me to your show, and my compliments to very distinguished and esteemed panelists. Good question. Good question. When I look back, being a student of history as also geopolitics, my mind goes back to points of convergence. It is not France merely a name. I think it is one of the countries in Europe which has got lots of factors of commonality. It brings as a natural partner to India, be it the democracy or be it the strategic autonomy. I personally feel, having traveled the length and breadth of Europe quite extensively, that although we have very around 25,000 or 30 odd thousand Indian diaspora in France, I hope in times ahead the figure keeps going up. There are a lot of things that India and France mutually can leverage from each other's strength. It is only the France where back in 1966, if we look back, it had pulled out of NATO because the leadership in France felt that their strategic autonomy or independent nature of foreign policy was being interfered with. Similarly, a couple of times they have pulled out or threatened. And today it is a NATO member and it welcomes India with open arms. And having invited our Honorable Prime Minister to co-chair a very important meeting. And this meeting is going to change the way of life. Not many of us I think our Honorable Prime Minister is only one person who has articulated the challenges of artificial intelligence in 21st century and beyond in simplistic expression. A layman will not be able to understand that you, me, and others talk in the very, very high-flown jargons, technical jargons. He has told in simplistic terms how much will we as mankind be able to accept the artificial intelligence in our way of life, thereby pointing to one single most important factor, that beyond that point, that thin line, we will not be able to compromise in decision making. So therefore, there is a global need to have a regulation authority, and we need to formulate some kind of a document, a standing operating procedure, which is accepted by one and all over the world. One. Number two, he said the need of the hour is not the leading economy. They are good in any case. They are actually not slow starting. The global south is in a non-starting position. The global south has to be taken along, otherwise you will be creating discrimination. By creating discrimination, it will turn out to be a disruptive technology. So I think he's the one person who's used the expression of AI turning into disruption. Disruption will kill mankind. It will overshadow our existence on the face of the planet. And third and most important thing, Simran, that he has highlighted as per my understanding, is that the time has come. Like the Solar Alliance, we need to actually galvanize ourselves, share the information with each other. Let there be no distinction. Let there be a free flow of information. The DeepSeek has actually thrown up a lot of challenges. One always thought that the Chat GPT or the OpenAI was the end all and be all. Look at the cost factor and the factors of penetration into our culture, socio-economic attributes, and the way of life of mankind today. So therefore, I would say that this particular thing, invitation which has come, more than the global, I personally feel the bilateral component which Professor Tripathi was trying to dilate. If you allow me one more minute, I would like to highlight one very important aspect, that our dependence on Russia as far as the military hardware was at one point in time was 86%. That was long time back. But prior to 2014, it was 76%. Now it has come down to around 36%. So when you say it has come down to 36%, it may be a temporary phenomena because of ad hoc and emergent procurement post Galwan incident. But our dependence on France by and by has grown from 9% to 11% to 19%. Today it stands at 33%. In times ahead, this is going to further go up because here is a country which actually nurtures relationship based on trust. Here is a country which is prepared to share the technology, the saffron technology, the critical need of our security apparatus, Simran, to my understanding, is the aerospace engine. Today, our aircrafts are being made by HAL, but they cannot take off without the engine. So, in absence of the General Electric meeting the deadlines, I think the only option open at the moment is to actually capitalize the offer which is being made by France by means of joint venture, by means of co-production, co-development, research and development. So here is a country which I, to my limited understanding, is offering a technology transfer with no strings attached. And the last point that I wish to highlight is that while the dependence on France is going up gradually, it is not only the aerospace engine, it is also the energy sector which we should be looking at France in a comprehensive manner. Today, our dependence on the fossil fuel, particularly the coal, is more than 70%. Whereas France is the only country in the world which generates electricity from the clean energy, nuclear energy, more than 70% or around 70%. So they have the reactors, the modular reactors, which are small in size, which are compact, which can be located at short notice, installed easily with minimum expenditure, minimum dangers of radiation effect and all. There is something that we need to carry forward and make our energy secure and clean and green in time.